My fiancé said, "My parents are paying for the wedding, so they get final say." I replied, "Fair enough." Then I transferred all the vendor contracts to her father's name. The chaos that followed was glorious. I'm sitting here with a beer, watching everything unfold exactly as I predicted. Should probably feel bad. Do, though. I'm 29 years old, and I've been with Sarah for 4 years. We got engaged a year ago. The wedding was supposed to be in 3 months. When we got engaged, I'd saved up about $35,000 for our wedding. Yeah, I know, that's a crazy amount, but I wanted to give her the dream wedding she always talked about. Sarah comes from money. Her dad, Richard, owns a chain of luxury car dealerships across 3 states. Her mom, Patricia, doesn't work, just spends and plans social events. At first, we agreed to plan everything together using my money. I was more than happy to pay for it all. We spent months researching and visiting venues, trying different caterers, and meeting photographers. We booked this gorgeous, historic Victorian mansion as our venue. The kind of place with floor-to-ceiling windows, crystal chandeliers, and gardens that looked like something out of a fairy tale. Sarah cried when we signed the contract. The photographer we chose was this amazing artist who did documentary-style wedding photos. None of that stiff, posed stuff. Just real moments captured beautifully. We found an incredible live band that played jazz and swing, Sarah's favorite. They even agreed to learn our first dance song. The florist specialized in wildflowers and natural arrangements. Simple, elegant, beautiful. Not those over-the-top displays that scream, "Look how much money we spent." Everything was booked in my name since I was paying for it. Made sense at the time. I'd already put down $15,000 in deposits across all the vendors, non-refundable deposits. And by the way, that's important later. Sarah seemed genuinely happy with every choice we made. We'd spend evenings on the couch, looking at our planning binder, just excited about our future together. Then everything changed. 2 months ago, Sarah's parents decided they wanted to contribute to the wedding. By contribute, I mean completely take over. Richard wrote a check for $40,000, and suddenly, everything we'd planned together wasn't good enough anymore. First, it was the venue. We need to cancel the Victorian mansion and use the Riverside Country Club instead. That's where all their friends get married. Better for photos, better for their reputation. Then the photographer, too artsy apparently. They had a family friend who shoots weddings. He mostly does corporate headshots, but whatever. He's reliable. The guest list needed to triple. We'd planned for 100 people, close friends and family, intimate and meaningful. Now they wanted 300, business associates, country club friends, people I'd never even met. I pushed back. This is our wedding, Sarah. This is what we both wanted. Sarah pulled me aside one evening. "Babe, they're paying now. It's only fair they get some input." Input is one thing. They're changing everything we planned together. Well, they are contributing $40,000. That's more than you saved. I already paid $15,000 in deposits for the things we actually wanted. They said they'll reimburse you for all of that. Spoiler alert, they didn't. But I didn't know that yet, so I tried to compromise. Maybe we could keep some of our original choices and incorporate some of their ideas. That's not how it worked out, not even close. Last Tuesday was the breaking point. I was at work when my phone rang. Patricia, not Sarah. Her mother was calling me directly. "Michael, we need to discuss the rehearsal dinner." "Okay, what about it?" "I've booked the Harbor Yacht Club. It's absolutely perfect. Richard's business partners will be so impressed. We already have Marcello booked, that Italian place downtown. Sarah loved it because that's where I proposed." "Oh, that little place. No, I canceled it this morning. The yacht club has much better optics for Richard's clients. 3-course dinner, open bar, waterfront views." "Wait, you canceled my reservation?" "Well, we're paying for the wedding now, so really it's our responsibility to manage." Sarah gave me the confirmation number. She understood this made more sense. I felt my jaw clench. "You canceled the rehearsal dinner at the place where I proposed, without asking me." "Michael, don't be difficult about this. We're spending $40,000. We should have a say in these decisions." I hung up and immediately called Sarah. "Your mom just canceled our rehearsal dinner. She found a better venue, babe. The yacht club is really nice." I put down a $500 deposit at Marcello's with my money. Tristan, stop being difficult. My parents are spending $40,000 on our wedding. That's more than you saved. It's only fair they get input. This isn't input anymore. This is complete control. They're paying, so they get final say. That's just how it works. Those words, final say. Something cold and clear settled over me. Okay, I said calmly. Fair enough. Really? Oh, good. I knew you'd understand eventually. You just needed time to process. This is going to be amazing, Michael. Trust me. Oh, I was going to trust the process, all right. Just not the way she expected. Here's what Sarah didn't know. All the vendor contracts were still in my name. Every single one. The venue, the catering company, the florist, the band, the photographer, even that rehearsal dinner at Marcello's that Patricia thought she'd canceled. I was listed as the primary contact and the financially responsible party on every contract. Her parents had just been writing checks to reimburse vendors for my depots. And paying the remaining balances as they came due. But legally, contractually, everything was still tied to me. That evening, I made some calls. First, I called my buddy Marcu, who works as an event coordinator, explained the whole situation. He laughed for 5 straight minutes. I thought he was going to choke. You're really going to do this? He finally managed. They want final say, right? They can have it. All of it. Man, that's cold. I love it. Is it even legal? Completely. You're the contract holder. You can transfer responsibility to whoever you want as long as they accept it and the vendors agree. Since the wedding's still 3 months out and no final payments are due yet, most vendors will be fine with it. What do I need to do? Contact each vendor. Explain that you need to transfer the contracts to Richard. They'll draw up new paperwork. He'll need to sign and provide a credit card for security. Simple as that. I spent the next 2 hours planning exactly how this was going to unfold. It was going to be beautiful. Wednesday morning, I started making calls. I contacted the venue first, explained that there had been a change in who was handling the financial aspects of the wedding. Very professional, very calm. Could we transfer the contract to Richard Thompson? The coordinator was incredibly helpful. Of course, Mr. Blake. We'll need Mr. Thompson's signature on the new contract and a credit card on file for security. Since you're still 3 months out, this shouldn't be a problem. Then she paused. Oh, we've worked with the Thompsons before. This should be interesting. I filed that comment away. I called the caterer, the florist, the band, and the photographer. Same story with each one, very accommodating. Just need signatures and payment information from Richard. By Thursday afternoon, I had everything compiled into one neat folder. Trakan is for paperwork for every vendor. Contracts requiring Richard's signature. Clear documentation of deposit responsibilities. Detailed payment schedules with every due date highlighted. Vendor contact sheets. An itemized breakdown showing the remaining $70,000 in costs. I made everything crystal clear. No confusion, no misunderstandings. Thursday evening, I drove to Sarah's parents' house. Richard answered the door in his usual way. Expensive casual clothes, that smile that doesn't reach his eyes, the kind of guy who measures his worth by his watch. Michael, wasn't expecting you tonight. Hey, Richard, since you and Patricia are paying for the wedding and get final say on everything, I figured you should handle the contracts too. I handed him the folder. His face went from smug to confused in about 2 seconds. What's this? Transfer paperwork. All the vendor contracts. They need your signature and credit card information by Monday, or they'll cancel everything. The wedding's in your name now. Congratulations. Patricia appeared from the living room, wine glass in hand. What's happening? Richard was flipping through papers, his face getting paler. Michael is giving us the wedding contracts. She grabbed the folder from him, then her expression changed. Wait, these say we're responsible for all deposits and potential damages. Yep, your wedding, your responsibility. Fair enough, right? I continued, keeping my voice perfectly calm. The deposits I already paid are all in there, about $15,000 worth. Richard looked up, hopeful for a second. Which you never reimbursed me for, by the way. So consider that my wedding gift to you both. You've got about $70,000 in outstanding balances due over the next 6 weeks. The payment schedule is all laid out. Pages 3 through 7. Richard's face turned purple. $70,000? Well, yeah. You tripled the guest list, remember? Catering alone went from $8,000 for 100 people to $23,000 for 300. The band had to add 4 more musicians for the larger venue and longer reception. The photographer needs a second shooter and an assistant for that many guests. The flowers went from simple wildflower arrangements to elaborate tablescapes for 300 people. It all adds up. This is insane, Richard sputtered. No, this is what you wanted. Your money, your final say, your contracts. Sarah made it very clear. You're in charge now. I started walking toward my car. Patricia's voice went shrill. You can't just dump this on us. Why not? It's your wedding, right? Your money, your final say. Richard followed me down the driveway. Come back here right now and fix this. I got in my car. Can't do that. I'm no longer on any of the contracts. Legally, this isn't my problem anymore. My phone started ringing before I even reached the end of their street. Sarah, screaming. What did you do? I gave your parents what they wanted. Full control. You can't just dump this on them. Why not? It's their wedding, right? Their money, their final say, their responsibility. Come back right now and fix this. I can't. I'm not on the contracts anymore. I hung up. Fair enough, right? Friday morning started with a bang. Richard called the venue, trying to explain there had been a misunderstanding. The contract should stay in my name. He'd just pay the bills. The venue coordinator, bless her, told him that wasn't possible without my written consent and signature, which I wasn't giving. Then Patricia called the caterer to complain about the pricing. How could it possibly be $23,000 for catering? The caterer very patiently explained that the increase was due to their requested changes. Premium menu selections instead of the moderate package, triple the guest count, special dietary accommodations for 50-plus people because apparently Patricia had promised all her country club friends personalized meal options. The flowers? Patricia had upgraded from seasonal wildflowers to imported orch, hids and peonies, with elaborate tablescapes for 300 people. Every vendor told them the same thing. These were your changes. These are your costs. Saturday, Sarah showed up at my apartment. First time she'd been here in weeks. She'd basically been living at her parents' place since they'd started their wedding planning takeover. My roommate opened the door, saw her face, and immediately disappeared into his bedroom. Tristan, please. You've made your point. What point? Don't play dumb. You know exactly what you did. I agreed with you. Your parents are paying, so they get final say. I just made sure the final responsibility matched the final say. Seems fair to me. The florist wants $15,000 for flowers. Your mom ordered imported orchids and custom tablescapes for 300 people. That's actually a reasonable price for what she demanded. The photographer wants $8,000. Because your dad insisted on a second shooter and an assistant for 300 guests, plus the engagement photos your mom added, plus the day after session she requested. Take the contracts back, Michael. No. Your parents wanted control. They got it. Her face crumpled, but it was angry tears, not sad ones. They're saying they won't pay. I shrugged. Then I guess there's no wedding. You're ruining everything. I'm not on any contracts anymore. I'm literally not doing anything. Exactly. You're supposed to help. You're supposed to fix this. Like I was helping before your parents steamrolled every single decision we made together? That's different. How? She couldn't answer. She just grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the frame. Sunday was quiet. Too quiet. I knew the next wave was coming. Monday morning, my phone rang. Richard. I almost didn't answer. Michael, I have my attorney here. We're on speaker. Great. A new voice joined the call. Mr. Blake, this is Leonard Morrison. Mr. Thompson has asked me to review the situation. From what I understand, you transferred legally binding contracts to him without full disclosure of the financial obligate. We will sue you for every penny of those deposits. Those were gifts, freely given to help with the wedding you wanted to control. They were not gifts. You were obligated to pay them. I have text messages from Sarah calling them gifts when she was convincing me to let you take over. Screenshots are wonderful things. 20 more messages came through rapid fire. I read the first few, accusations that I was manipulative, controlling, and abusive, that I was ruining their family, that I never deserved Sarah in the first place. Then one that made me actually laugh out loud. You're just a middle-class nobody trying to ruin our reputation because you're jealous of what we have. I screenshotted that one, might need it later. I stopped reading after that. An hour later, a voicemail from Richard. His voice was measured, trying to sound reasonable. Michael, let's be adults about this. Take back the contracts. We'll pay for everything just like we promised. You can have some input on the decisions. We'll work together. Some input. For a wedding, I was originally paying for it entirely, where every choice was mine and Sarah's together. I texted back, no thanks. Another voicemail. This one is ES calm. You're being childish. We're trying to be reasonable here. What do you want? Money? We can compensate you for your trouble. I didn't respond. Some things aren't about money. They're about respect. And they'd shown me exactly how much they respected me. Wednesday, 1 week after I'd handed over the folder, Sarah came to my office. She actually made it past building security. I don't know what she told them, but they let her through. My coworkers were fascinated. The drama was better than their lunch hour TV shows. My boss, Karen, actually stepped out of her office. Everything okay, Michael? Personal matter. I'll take an early lunch. She nodded, but I could tell she was concerned. Probably saved my job right there because Sarah was gearing up for a scene. We went to the parking lot. The venue is threatening to cancel. Not threatening. They will cancel if they don't receive the $5,000 progress payment by Friday. Then pay them. Not my contract anymore. I'll Venmo you right now. I'll pay you back. Just take the contracts back and fix this. Your parents have to sign them back over to me. That's how contracts work. They won't do it. Why not? She looked away. Because they think if they refuse to sign and refuse to pay, you'll cave and just handle everything yourself to save the wedding. I stared at her. Are you hearing yourself right now? They're willing to let your wedding collapse completely just to win a power play against me? It's not like that. It's exactly like that, Sarah. They'd rather call your bluff and watch everything fall apart than admit they were wrong or give up control. Just fix this, Michael, please. No. She grabbed my phone right out of my hand. That's theft. I'm your fiancé. The words came out before I could stop them. Are you, though? She froze. The phone hung loose in her hand. What's that supposed to mean? You chose them. Every single time. For 2 months, every decision you chose them over us. Over the wedding we planned together. Over the partnership we're supposed to have. She handed my phone back slowly. Her voice was small. I thought you'd understand. They're my parents. And I was supposed to be your future. Past tense. She left without another word. Friday, the day the venue payment was due. I was in a budget meeting when my phone started vibrating continuously. I turned it to silent and ignored it. When the meeting ended 2 hours later, I checked my phone. Missed calls. 68 text messages. I scrolled through them. Venue canceled. The $5,000 payment never came, though. Rough. Our date was released to another couple. The band canceled. Their deposit was due the same day. When Richard tried to negotiate the payment terms, they canceled the contract entirely. The photographer canceled. Something about a 30-day payment clause had triggered. The caterer sent a formal notice. Payment is required within 48 hours, or they'd move on to other clients. The florist wanted confirmation of the payment method before ordering the imported orchids. Never got it. And one voicemail from Sarah. Her voice was flat, defeated. It's over. The wedding is off. My parents can't pull together the money fast enough. Everything's canceled. A pause. Are you happy now? I sat in my car in the parking lot and realized something. Yeah, I kind of was. Not happy that Sarah was hurt. Not happy that things had ended this way. But relieved. Deeply, profoundly relieved. Saturday morning, 7 a.m., someone pounded on my apartment door. Richard, face red, eyes wild. You destroyed my little girl's wedding. You destroyed it when you turned it into a power play. When you made it about showing off to your country club friends instead of celebrating your daughter's marriage. We were trying to give her the best. No. You were trying to prove you were in control. The wedding Sarah and I planned was perfect for us. You made it about you. You vindictive little. You have 5 seconds to leave before I call the police. He left, but shouted from the hallway, "You'll regret this." I closed the door. I really didn't think I would. Sunday afternoon, I got a call from an unexpected source, Jenna, Sarah's best friend since college. We'd always gotten along well. "Michael, it's Jenna. I'm not calling to yell at you. That's refreshing. What really happened?" "Sarah's story makes no sense. She says you sabotaged everything out of spite, but I know you. That's not you." I explained everything. The takeover, the broken promises about reimbursement, the canceled rehearsal dinner, Sarah's exact words about final say, the contract transfer. Long silence. Holy cray. "P, they really thought you'd just roll over and take it." "Apparently. You know Patricia is telling everyone you're controlling and abusive, right? That you were trying to isolate Sarah from her family? Of course she is. Want me to set the record straight? I know the truth now. No. People will believe what they want. Patricia's friends will believe her version no matter what I say. For what it's worth, I think you dodged a bullet." That hit harder than I expected. "Sarah's become her mother," Jenna continued. "I love her. She's my best friend, but the last few months she's turned into Patricia. Every conversation is about impressing people, about appearances, about what the country club friends will think. She's not the person we knew in college anymore." That hurt, because it was true. Monday, I received a certified letter from Morrison Associates, Richard's law firm. The Thompson family demanded that I pay all wedding cancellation fees and penalties, return the engagement ring immediately, compensate them for emotional distress and reputational damage, reimburse them for the $40,000 they'd contributed. I took a photo and sent it to my buddy Derek, who's a lawyer. He called me back an hour later, still laughing. "They have absolutely nothing, Mike. You transferred contracts with their knowledge and consent. The ring was a gift, emotional damages, please. And they never actually paid you the $40,000. They paid vendors directly. Should I countersue for my deposits? Not worth it. Just want this done." I'll respond professionally, but basically I'm telling them to pound sand. Perfect. Tuesday, Sarah texted, "Can we talk? Just us. No parents, no lawyers." Sure. We met at a coffee shop halfway between our apartments. Neutral territory. She looked exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair pulled back messily. Nothing like the put-together image she'd been maintaining for her mother's sake. I screwed up. Yeah. I let them take over everything. The wedding stopped being ours and became theirs. Yep. You really weren't going to help? You were just going to let everything fall apart? You told me they had final say. I respected that. You were teaching me a lesson. I was protecting myself. Your parents' demands would have cost me over $100,000 by the time they were done. Maybe more. And they never planned to reimburse me for anything. They said they would pay. Like they pay back my deposits? Like they pay the venue on time? She stared at her untouched coffee. The country club told them they'd need a $50,000 non-refundable deposit to host a wedding there. They freaked out. Karma. I loved you, Michael. I loved you too. She noticed immediately. Past tense. Because of this? Because you chose them over us. Every single time. For months. Every decision, you picked their approval over our partnership. She nodded slowly. Didn't argue. I'm keeping the ring. Fair enough. It was a gift. That's like $8,000. And I'm keeping the deposits. That's $15,000. Consider it the cost of a lesson learned. We both stood up. She looked at me one more time. I really did love the wedding we planned together. The Victorian mansion, the wildflowers, all of it. I know. Me too. We walked to our cars separately. I didn't look back. Neither did she. A few days later, I got an unexpected call. Rebecca, the venue coordinator. Mr. Blake, I wanted you to know something. We had 3 couples on our wait list for your date. One of them is getting married there this weekend, thanks to your cancellation. That's good. I'm glad the date didn't go to waste. They're wonderful people. Young couple, both teachers. They couldn't afford a Saturday originally. Your deposits are helping make their dream possible. That actually made me feel good. Also, Rebecca continued, and this is probably unprofessional of me to say, but the Thompsons have effectively blacklisted themselves from every major venue in the city. What? Word spreads fast in the wedding industry. After everything fell apart, Patricia went nuclear on every vendor, threatening lawsuits, leaving 1-star reviews, sending nasty emails. She accused you of conspiring with vendors against her family. I didn't say anything to anyone. We know, but she claimed the photographer was in on some scheme, that the caterer was price gouging them, that our venue was discriminating against them. It's been insane. Apparently, the Edding vendor community has a private Facebook group. Screenshots of Patricia's unhinged emails got shared, documentation of Richard's credit card disputes. Multiple vendors discovered the Thompsons owed them money from previous events. 3 restaurants won't even take their reservations anymore. My phone buzzed. Sarah calling. I have to go, Rebecca, but thank you for letting me know. The fallout was spreading wider than I'd ever imagined, and I hadn't done a thing except step back. Sarah's voicemail was tearful. No one will work with us. Mom's been banned from 2 vendor Facebook groups. Dad's credit card disputes are public record now in the wedding community. We can't book anyone. I called her back. I didn't do any of that, Sarah. Your mother did that to herself. The country club canceled on us too. I thought they wanted the $50,000 deposit. Dad disputed the charge, said it was excessive. They kicked us out of the club entirely. He disputed a non-refundable deposit. He owns car dealerships. He knows exactly how deposits work. This is all your fault. Your family did this to themselves. I just stopped enabling them. She hung up. 2 days later, Jenna called again. You're not going to believe this. Try me. Sarah's engaged. Again. It's been 3 weeks. To Marcus, her ex-boyfriend from college. The rebound is strong with this one. His family owns a resort chain. Her parents are thrilled. They're planning a destination wedding in Hawaii. Let me guess, is his family handling everything?